Welcome back to Bullet Catcher Gaming. This is, of course, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now, recently, from the beginning of Ghost Recon, especially Breakpoint, and before that with Wildlands, and even possibly back before that, we've seen people talking about having a map editor or a mission creator within the game. Now, we don't know what's coming after Breakpoint in terms of, what kind of game we're getting. Would they include one? But we want to have a look at today why we can't have one now. Breakpoint, I think, is in desperate need of a mission editor or a map creator. And the reason being is it would revolutionise, I think, the milsim community, being able to challenge each other on different maps, having a kind of home-based map that you could compete against. I also think PvP, which everyone knows is severely lacking on Breakpoint, would really kind of go through something quite incredible if you could go on and have PvP matches on your own maps. And like I said, even have like a home-based map that you created and things like that. But I also think just normal players, just your average everyday kind of like arcadey style player would enjoy coming on and messing around and creating and coming up with something different. And it's also the kind of area where you could add things like zombies. We do get people that say they want zombies in the game. This is the kind of place. Don't put them in the main game. Don't mess up the story with, supernatural stuff. Keep it military. But then in the map editor, when you want to do your own stuff, throw some zombies in, some aliens, whatever it is you want to do, because then it won't affect the main game at all. Now, what I don't understand is that Far Cry 5, which is obviously what you're looking at right now, has a map editor. And it takes a little bit of getting used to at the beginning, but it is pretty simplistic to use. I mean, like this map here, for example, it's very simple. I created this landscape, carved out these mountains and things like that, and put the water in, the backgrounds and things like that you can change, the weather you can change, everything. I just put some buildings down, and this took me about 25 minutes just to kind of create this. I put some chalet looking buildings in here, and all we need in Breakpoint or a future Ghost Recon game is this. We just need this added into the game. This would be perfect. I mean, options wise, if you have a look here, you can add new objectives, right, and objects. And it actually gives you all of these things here as you can go through. Now, it's different Far Cry games, some of the DLC assets, also things from Assassin's Creed. You've got Unity, Black Flag, some Watchdog stuff in there, and then a load of its own stuff. Now, imagine if on Breakpoint you could create your own map, but you could utilize buildings and things like that from Wildlands or Future Soldier or previous titles, and they just added those assets in for you to use. So, for example, you can click on, like here, Far Cry 4. If you've used this before, you'll know what I'm talking about, but a lot of people may not have. And then you can click on objects, and it goes from everything. Look, so it will give you little things to, like, you can click on industrial, for example, and it'll give you all these different things. So small objects to big buildings, so you can add as much detail as you want. So it might be that I want wreckages from the industrial age. And as you can see over here, look, it then gives you the opportunity to go and add like pieces of wood, there's stonework, there's crates, there's just like lots of woody effects, things like that. So, I mean, you may not want things like that. You can even add dead bodies and things like that. But you could go into, say, just even in the main game, or let's say we took, you wanted to use Assassin's Creed, for example, you can then go into structures. So temples or residential, what kind of things. So let's say we wanted some houses. So it will then use the assets from that game, and I could go and add them right now into the game. I can bury them in the ground a bit, so you just get some of it. I can add buildings next to each other. You can then put bridges linking them together. Now there's lots of military ones on here as well, which obviously be a lot more prevalent for Breakpoint and Ghost Recon in general. You know, why haven't we got this? They created it for Far Cry. Why have they not created it for Ghost Recon? I mean, that's just those things. You can then go in and add the AI. So you've got allies, neutrals. You can put the AI where you want them to. You can put what pathways they do. You can add story beats to it. You could literally imagine the milsim community having access to this kind of stuff. You can put animals in there, animals that will attack you, which is something that we've said would have been nice in Breakpoint. You can choose where they spawn, how often they spawn. Whether they are eliminated, whether they send reinforcements, all that kind of stuff. You've got terrain tools, so you can build mountains, you know, water, whatever it is you want to do. You've then got like loadouts, so you can go into basic like assault loadouts. So imagine you getting to choose what loadouts your character has. You could choose the loadouts of the enemies, whether you want snipers. You could choose then the snipers to be up high. You could have assault teams. You could have a QRF. You could literally set it up exactly how you wanted to. And it's such a fascinating tool. It's very easy. Like I said, you can just go in, you can move these things around so easily. Do you want things in the snow? You can make the snow high. I could cover if I wanted to and put snow covering these windows to have the building half buried. It's just so easy to do. I mean, like I said, there's a few clipping issues that I've got here that I think a couple of things like that I haven't put quite on the ground. As you can see, there's a barbecue floating in the air there, but you know, it was because I was doing it on the quick, just to kind of prove how easy it was. This has all been created from effectively a blank slate. So, you know, but you can also go in and do like map details. Like I said, you can add thunder, lightning, you can have it snowing, you can have all the different kind of backgrounds that are, you know, we might want it in the mountains. So like if you can, I don't know, you might want, like if I go into environment, for example, you know, it gives you like backdrops. So like at the moment it's like snow, but you might want to build something with a city in the background, or, you know, you might want to have a desert in the background, or I don't know, like more mountainous kind of regions, whatever it is you want. The point is that Ghost Recon would really be, I think, revolutionized with something like this being added into the game. You know, being able to go and create your own map and challenge other people, you do one-on-one matches with them, or to create, who can create the hardest maps, the hardest milsim maps, you know, how difficult, to be able to effectively create your own missions, to have eliminate the commander from the camp, you know, being able to utilize every aspect of the tools that are in Breakpoint now, the buildings, mix them in with Wildlands buildings, Future Soldier buildings, to have a mixture of all those buildings in one map. This is something that I think really should happen, you know. And, you know, doing your own moonlight, you could do the whole thing, so you can set it so it's at night time and you have to have night vision. There is no daytime version. Or you could do an alternate version where it is just daytime, completely changing maybe the dynamic of how you would approach that mission. It's something that absolutely must be, at the very least, in the next game. And the fact that it works so perfectly in Far Cry 5, also obviously made by Ubisoft, why can't they use this tool and put it into Ghost Recon, even into Breakpoint? If we're not going to get a new Ghost Recon game perhaps for a year or two, this type of thing would keep people very busy, keep the game alive, keep the community alive. And it would really drive a community. It's one of the things that keeps a game going, it's community. And if they can go and build their own maps and challenge other people and play other people's maps, and it can literally be instrumental to keeping the game alive, then why would you not add it in there? So, you know, if anyone from Ubisoft is watching this, and I will pass this on, but it's something that I think would be a massive thing for us to do. And I'm just going to show you, I'm going to end the video here, but I mean, like the fact you can add vehicles, whatever it is you want, it just is fascinating. There's so many different kind of building types. But I am going to kind of like end this part of the video, but I am going to show you quickly of what you can do in. I spent half an hour on a pirate map, and it's not great. It could be a lot better than it was, but just to kind of show you the type of thing that you could do. So I'm just going to finish here with that. So as you can see, like I'm in a vehicle on my pirate map. I've got little shacks and things around. It was supposed to look like a bit of a kind of pirate island. Like I said, you'd be able to create whatever you wanted. There's a hangman's noose up there. It's, you know, there's some beautiful sea, as you can see. The background makes perfect sense. Blue skies and all the rest of it. Got an old pirate ship over there, another one out in the bay. And, you know, a couple of these, I could have made a much better town. I was just trying to, you know, show what you can do, put down some different types of trees on the outside of the island. And then you know, even those little things like the buckets and things like that, they were all put there by me just to kind of make the world feel a bit more alive. It's just really interesting what you can create if you put your mind to it. And yes, you know, it really would depend on how much time you're going to put into this. You know, you could spend literal hours upon hours and hours creating one map, but it would be worth it, you know, especially if other people played it and were like, well, that's fantastic. And the good thing is that you can then go and play other people's maps. I mean, there's a few little issues there where I haven't put things into the ground properly and things like that. But, you know, there's a little tower over here. And what I did in the middle of the map, as you can see in a second, is there's like lots of things laying around on the ground. There's gold coins that have been scattered. There's a chest, some old, you know, some old, I think, like doubloons and cannons and things like that. But just showing this to you to see, you can see just how easily it is for you to create something in about half an hour. So imagine what you could create, for example, if you had, you know, you spent a week on it. You know, you could create something fantastic. So, you know, get out there, get into the communities. If you want to see this, you know, put it on forums, things like that. Jump on our Discord, talk about it. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see this added into Ghost Recon? Do you think it would really kind of add something for the community and keep the game alive? Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.